Hey, Shohei here, and welcome back to the Minecraft Worldbuilding series where I'm building a fantasy world in survival. We're currently working on this fairy city found in the Sylvan Frontier, and in the last episode I built this moss farm in a fallen log. And I wanted to connect that build to today's episode. So today we're building a wood storage space because, well, we have issues. Storage issues. And maybe some other deeper internal. Anyways, if you enjoy world building and lore, consider subscribing and leaving a like. It really helps out a small channel like mine. I mean, look at this. My storage space is atrocious. Look at that. Just random stuff. Random stuff everywhere. This is supposed to be a honey farm, and I've got an ominous banner and a fishing rod in there. So I've got major storage issues that I need to, kind of fix a little bit. So I'm going to be building a wood storage space today. We're going to be building it. It's going to be kind of connected to this build right here. So I think we're going to be doing a tree stump to kind of, connect this build with that. Because, why would there be a random fallen log here without a tree stump? So we're gonna cut down all of these trees down here in the middle, right here, and we'll kind of make a tree trunk as our centerpiece. I did think about maybe making a actual tree, but I would have to build a pretty large tree in order for that to kind of work. And I'm so early game, I don't really have all the supplies to make such a large tree. I do think that I want to make a world tree potentially, still up for debate, kind of similar to the likes of Flip's world tree, but I don't know. That's a lot of work that I'm not sure I want to do, because I'm trying to take this world kind of chill and not have to worry too much about grinding that much. So on top of that, I got a day job, so I can't exactly just grind away on that. Just in our skeleton farm here, we're just gonna gather quite a few levels because we're gonna finally get this diamond enchanted. And yes, I use a bow. I just take a bow from here, grab some arrows, and I shoot away. Alright, time to see what we're working with. Got some lapis. That's actually not that much lapis, but it's okay. We're gonna unbreaking, okay. Aquafinity, not bad. Unbreaking and fire protection. Alright. I think we'll start with our diamond chest plate. I've only got 33 levels, but I think that's enough for 4. Oh. Apparently it's not enough for 4. So let's see, blast protection. That's pretty good. I think the next best thing. Oh, protection. I think we'll do protection. Not bad, not bad. Depth strider and unbreaking. All right, well, I guess I need to go level up a little more, and I'll be back. I know unbreaking is pretty basic, but I don't think I really need depth strider, so I think we'll just get unbreaking first. Protection 3, not bad. Oh, it's not that good, but we'll just take it. Not too bad. So we got a decent amount of protection, a lot of unbreaking, but this will at least help us from this will help prevent us from dying a lot more often now. Oh yeah, I changed my skin as well a little bit. Kind of got these little eyes here. I kind of wanted to have these bigger eyes because the mouth on my other skin kind of made me look like I was angry all the time, and I think having no mouth kind of Kind of gets rid of that look. And we got this new animation mod that kind of gives our eyes some blinking and stuff like that. And they kind of look around. Kind of gives you a little more animation. I saw it through a Lance video. So shout out to him. I mean, it's not his mod, but shout out to him anyways. But it kind of gives you a little more expression there. Look at that. You know, day-to-day use, you might not be using it much, but for content creation, it kind of does add a little bit of spice to it. Look at that. Kind of cool. I'm not too sure I like the walk or run animation as much, or the walk animation as much, but we'll kind of stick with it and see what y'all think. I stayed a night at the Sleepy Hollow Inn. It's a little cramped, so I can't exactly say I'd give them 5 stars, but at least we were able to get some lore written down in our book. So I didn't have too much lore related to the last episode since we just made a moss farm in this Sleepy Hollow Inn here. So today's lore book edition is just whatever we want it to be. So let's just take a sneak peek into future content. The 5 vital elements are earth, fire, water, metal, and wood. In their time of death, the celestial beasts each bestowed upon a mortal race their power. The most attuned race to each element became the stewards of the world and became known as the 5 vitalized races. So I've mentioned it before, but we're inspired by Avatar: The Last Airbender quite a bit, but we're also mixing in some D&D, Tolkien, and later some Full Metal Alchemist. But instead of using the classic 4 elements, we're using the Chinese element system called Wuxing. So each of the 5 vitalized races control 1 element. And then there's non-vitalized races as well, who are incapable of magic entirely. But just because you're a vitalized race though, doesn't mean you're some all-powerful magic user though. The Entios or fairies, for example, practice arboromancy or wood magic, but not all of them are crazy powerful. The elite may be able to move trees and control the forest. And then the common folk are just kind of bone meal alternatives, sprinkling a little magic to make crops grow faster. So not everyone is, capable of, wreaking havoc and, fighting. So there you go. You can speculate all you want about what the other races are. Leave a comment about your guesses. I won't confirm anything though. But you'll probably see the other factions sooner than later, because in order for me to keep myself entertained, I do actually like working on multiple projects. Switching it up every few episodes to another region kind of helps keep things exciting, in my opinion. But the least I can do is try to bunch each region up kind of a few episodes in between, or bunch a few episodes at a time for one region instead of hopping regions frequently. Also, with the new update coming soon, I have a few things I need to knock out before updating. But man, those new blocks and paintings are really calling my name. So we'll probably be trying to kind of speed run through and get updating soon. So we're going to be building a little tree stump. So in the last episode, we built this little inn here, which is a hollowed log. So I think it kind of makes sense for there to be an actual tree stump where it's kind of coming from. So the tree stump itself won't be kind of dead. This one, the fairies are arboromancers, so they can kind of keep these things alive, kind of retain the structural integrity of the wood. And so yeah, we'll have a little wood stump, which will also probably serve as like a council area where fairies would kind of, congregate and hold their little meetings. I said that fairies are clanastic, so this one's got multiple clans in it because it's a fairy city. So, the heads of each fairy clan will have to kind of come here and, do some meeting stuff, whatever fairies do. Wow. He was like dancing around and starts spitting on me. How rude. I am holding up the head of his owner, but we don't talk about that. For this build, we need quite a bit of dark oak, so I think it's finally time for me to upgrade from this iron hatchet into a diamond hatchet. Oh, almost accidentally made a diamond pickaxe there, but bam, diamond axe. I'll probably have to level up a tiny bit, and we can enchant this man up as well. Calm down, Rob. All right, we got our levels. Efficiency 3. It's kind of lame. Could be worse. I could always disenchant it and get another one, but you know what? We'll stick with that for now. I imagine the lore book comes from a wandering trader in his travels, so I think that kind of fits perfectly. Alright, I gathered some supplies and some wood and all that, and I honestly don't have that many things to kind of sidetrack me, so I think we're just gonna kind of get into the build then. So let's get building then, shall we? I really like those eyes. Finally, a useful braid. Saves me from having to travel thousands of blocks to go to the coral reef. It's just a sea pickle though, and I'm running out of emeralds, so I'm gonna need to start getting more. I was hoping for some mangrove wood, but what can we say? Come on. What do you want? No. Nobody's home. Go away. Go away. He's like nodding yes to let him in. Okay, that's enough. Away from the door. Burn out there. Bye. Bye. Well, anyways, we're done with the tree stump here. I think the shape turned out pretty well. We used the same color palette as the moss farm, so we had to use dark oak and some moss to break up the color a bit. We also used some slabs, trapdoors, buttons, and fences to make the roots a little more mangled up, and we left some holes for the windows we'll be installing. Just gotta hop into free cam real quick and get a little look at it. But I really like the shape of it. Trees are pretty irregular in shape, and we've got these roots coming out in all different directions. The moss really helps add to some of the overgrowth look to it. And we also added this little skylight window and made some tree rings. We'll also be adding some grass on top right here, or just bone mealing it to make it more overgrown. But this is just the base of the tree stump. Time to add little details to give it more character. So I think it's mushroom time. Let's go. So this is our centerpiece to the area. Might have added a few too many shrooms in the front here, but we can change that later if we want to. But once upon a time, it would have been a tall and sturdy tree, but it was either knocked over or maybe chopped down by some pesky humans. Maybe that boot we have over there is the boot of the lumberjack who cut down the tree. Lumberjack cuts down tree, fairy cuts down the lumberjack. Although that'd be a really big lumberjack based on the shoe size there, but maybe this is just a thin tree. But anyways, here we have the stump. I think it turned out pretty nice. I actually made a smaller version of this on an SMP for someone's base, but I wanted to make it slightly larger so that we can kind of use it as a city hall type of building. Lore wise, it'll be the council hall for the fairy clans living here, but for game purposes, we'll be using it as our wood storage. I wanted to make it match the hollow log that we have here, so we're using the same dark oak palette, but I feel like a lighter color would have been nicer, like using maybe oak or acacia even. Birch, maybe? No, probably not. But we added the same style of conch mushroom windows. They're kind of like the bay windows, but with conch mushrooms. And then we added some red cap mushrooms and some blue cap mushrooms that we used some birch buttons to kind of simulate those little dots on the red ones. But we also added some shroom lights just to give a little bit of light to the build. And here's the interior. We put down this kind of spruce flooring with, spruce planks and stripped spruce log. Got these little pillars supporting this spiral staircase going all the way up to the roof. I didn't follow the tree rings like I did with the moss farm because it was looking kind of funky and it was hard to make it look good. So we kind of just stuck with the spruce slabs instead of trying to kind of keep this pattern coming into the wood. Don't mind the torches, they're just temporary lighting, but in a previous episode, I mentioned that fairies follow a clanism societal structure. So for example, we've got the Pescare clan over at the fairy fishing village. And cities for fairies are rare because it means multiple clans have to gather in one location. So in this city, each clan has an elder take a seat at the Grand Council. And we made this round table for them to sit at. And we've got 8 seats. So I suppose there's 8 fairy clans that live in this city. And it might be hard to tell, but we made this little S here, or what looks like an S, but it's supposed to be a little serpent. It's kind of the best I could work with, but on this scale, but it's supposed to be a serpent etched into the table. So earlier in the lore book segment, we mentioned that elemental abilities were bestowed upon more races from the celestial beasts. The fairies were gifted the power of wood or arbormancy from the colossal serpent. So the serpent remains a popular symbol for the Entios, and snakes in general are revered creatures by the fairies. So basically the 8 fairy elders will sit here and kind of strategize, kind of talk politics, make decisions for the city. And I'll probably have to put some little decorations on top of this table as well, so it's not so blank and empty. But then I'd kind of hide this little serpent. So decisions. And yeah, the torches will be going away. But it's pretty barren. I mean, it's very, very basic interior. I mean, it's really just these columns holding the staircase. So we'll have kind of just wood areas for holding our storage. We've got this one section here. I'll be stacking it up a few more. And we'll stack up this side, and other woods will, kind of fill in the other nooks and crannies. But I think it looks pretty good. And really, the interiors are very, very basic. I could come in and add a lot more wall decorations and stuff like that, but with the walls not being very, very flat, it's a little interesting to decorate. But I'll probably have to come back and do that. And then the top, little skylight right above the table. And we added some, grass to make it a little more mossy looking. But, you can come up here. This will be one of the highest points, hopefully. I mean, I suppose that's a pretty high point, but you know, this will give you a panoramic view of the city once it's finished. We're gonna have to come in and add some pathways to all these builds here as well. Well, I'm gonna go try to move all my wood items into here and attempt to organize some chests. But that's about all the time we have for this episode. Leave a like and let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye for now.